They dropped all the charges on Diddy. They dropped all the RICO charges, and all he was guilty for was the prostitution, which is absurd. Like, how you gonna give somebody some time for being a freak? That's not illegal, and it's not it's not against the law. So how you going? They should have let him out. They should have let him out, and they should have maybe slapped some probation on him or whatever for prostitution, which is wild, like I said. But the way I see it, he'll probably get out. People in the comments talking about he gonna get 10 years and all this and that, and I'm like, for prostitution, like 10 plus years, that's RICO numbers, which he wasn't found guilty for. So please tell me we're
Exactly.
sentencing people for 10 years for prostitution.
It
But
makes no sense.
they should have let him out. He should be at home with his family right now. Most of his time has been served already, so he should in fact be getting out pretty soon.
Hmm.
This is actually a conversation we had, I think maybe 2 episodes ago, about black men with a lot of money and power. How they're getting hunted, just for being in white America with a lot of money. So pretty much, how he sued Ciroc. So apparently, Ciroc owed him $2 billion. So with that being said, after he sued Ciroc and beat the case and won the lawsuit, that's when all the weird stuff started happening with the baby oil and the sex trafficking and all the stuff with Cassidy. When he does get out, the Ciroc gonna owe him some money. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's the same thing I said with Bill Cosby. They went after him because he was about to buy NBC. You know what I'm saying? They tried to go after Tyler Perry for whatever reason, and he got stupid bread. He owned one of the biggest production companies, period. And he's doing great things. He's making his own movies. He's not having to go through a middleman or having to go through anybody. Tyler Perry has full creative control, just
Hmm.
like Diddy. Diddy had his own network. Diddy was doing this rock thing. Diddy is definitely a legend in the game when it comes to hip hop. So pretty much the way I see it is another black man with power. Okay, and pretty much he was suing Ciroc because he felt like uh, Ciroc was limiting his Ciroc sales and only shelving the Ciroc in the black communities, which
Hmm.
the court actually found that to be true, and they sided with him on that, and that's how he won the lawsuit against Ciroc. So Ciroc ended up having to pay him $2 billion, which he never got because he went to jail, unfortunately. But the way I see it is when he comes home, they're gonna owe him some money, and they know that it's not over. So they did what everything that they could do in their power to try to sit him down, but they couldn't.
You know, one thing that I always question, right? And I think I never brought this up. Who leaked the Cassie footage? That's number one. That's number one, right? Because it just came out of nowhere. You know, one
Okay,
one day.
let me tell you who leaked it. The hotel leaked it, right? So when he did whoop her ass in that hallway at the hotel, um, the hotel was paid, I think, 20,000 or 50,000 to not leak the tape, but they ended
Mhm.
up leaking it anyway, like a couple of years later. Whoever's paying all these people to come out the woodworks, making up stories about Diddy did this and did that. That's who went to the hotel in a strong arm, but the footage was leaked by the hotel.
Who's playing behind the scenes? And the reason why, because I'm leading up to this, right? So the reason why I say that is because who's playing behind the scenes when it comes to these certain interactions? Because, like you said, a lot of black men with money, they're trying to create an establishment, right? They're trying to create an establishment. They're trying to help, our people. But you have somebody puppeteering in the shadows. You don't know who. You know what I'm saying? You can you can kind of sort it out and go to the source when it comes to, okay, like you said, the hotel leaked that. But why did the hotel leak it? Who told the hotel to leak it? Because they're not going to just, they got bans. You know what I'm saying? Don't leak. Hey, I'll slide you some money. Don't even worry about it. Just don't put it out. Okay, cool. So who's behind the scenes coming out and being like, hey, you got that footage. You're going to do this. Who's playing the puppet master behind the scenes? Because what this reminds me of, this whole situation and these whole narratives, and a sidebar, 50, you're gonna get it too, sooner or later. Sooner or later, you're gonna get it too, 50. That's a sidebar. But this whole situation, it reminds me of Black Wall Street. That's all it's screaming is Black Wall Street. You
Hmm.
have a thriving Black community. You have our own currency, our own businesses, our own infrastructure. And then all of a sudden it gets nuked by the KKK and the government and stuff like that. Just bombs dropping, fire set, everything, and everybody turned a blind eye.
Hmm.
Everybody turned a blind eye.
Yeah,
Like just pretty much, oh well.
yeah. That's how shit up was set up for us, man. They never wanted us to be great, and
Mm-mm.
it's been like that since as long as we can remember, even before the whole Black Wall Street crash out and burn down. You know what I mean? They don't want black leadership. They don't want proper black leadership. They want people like, and no disrespect, uh, people like Kodak Black and NBA YoungBoy. No disrespect to them, but like I was saying before, those are the type of people that get shown love, and those are the type of people that will get shown lenience and receive pardons to get out of jail so they can get back to the bullshit and keep feeding our community like the negative shit like in their music. You know what I mean? Because it's contagious. They don't want like they don't want strong black leads, and
No.
that's just the way that it is. So whether it be Diddy, whether it be Tyler Perry, whether it be Bill Cosby or whatever, they're gonna always find a way to try to tear us down. You know, and like I said again, all they have to do is say one thing, and then all they're gonna have to do is depend on the black community to make sure we tear each other down and make us look bad. Somebody coming out the house with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. The news and the media never said what that oil was for. You know what I mean? And still to this day, nobody knows what the baby oil is for, unless Diddy came out and said. Black people just came out with that narrative, and the whole black community ran with it. You know what I mean? And then it was no Diddy this and no Diddy that, and the gay stuff, and what everybody made up the answer to what he was doing with the baby oil. But in fact, nobody knows what he was doing with the baby oil.
I've seen everything from, he had drugs in it. It's it was a bottle of I don't know the substance, but it was a bottle to where you hooked up to an IV to get high, and it's just, oh my god, it's giving me a headache.
Nobody knows that, and all we have to do, you can rest assured you can depend on us to make our own narratives about it. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, everybody is so sure, like, nah, that's what it was. Like, how do you know though? So crazy work right there, man. But I don't care what nobody else say. I'm happy for Diddy, because you didn't deserve that punishment you just took, man. You really didn't. You were doing great things, man, and he didn't deserve that. They went entirely too hard on Diddy. You know what I mean? But congratulations to Diddy, man. Free Diddy.
Yeah, and again, beating, and also too, beating, a RICO charge. You got to thank this man's lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Young Thug's lawyer is
Hmm.
already on his second case to where he beat a RICO charge. The prices are going up. The prices
Man,
are going up. Like the price is going up.
Cochran. That's the white
The-
Johnny Cochran right there.
I swear to you, this man is legendary now. This
He,
man is legendary.
he is.
He part of the culture now. He part of the culture.
He invited to the
And
barbecues.
you know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, because dude is so chill. During the Young Thug case, he was with him 100%. They in the courthouse, they laughing, they having a good time. And then, like he said, okay, if my client goes to jail, then I go to jail with my client. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, he's standing 10 toes down.
So
Man, shout out to him.
shout
Shout
out
out
to
to him.
him. Shout out to him, man. But
I,
heck,
I I know Diddy right off the back. I know Diddy, once that man gets out, he is going to take care of old boy. And we can't forget ASAP Rocky's lawyer too, because he was part of Diddy's team. But just him alone, he is going to take care of him. Shit, his kids going to college for life. His
for
kids,
sure,
kids.
for sure. You know, but I will say
Man.
this, man, you just sit your ass down, man, and you know, you need to tighten up that guest list on the freak offs that you be having, man, because you know, when it all came down to the wire, man, like you know, you see, you couldn't trust everybody, and everybody ain't your friend. You know what I'm saying?
And if I'm not mistaken, who's he? Who's he? Well, he was currently dating somebody from the City Girls. What's her name?
Miss Young Miami or something like that.
Young Miami. Yeah, you might want to watch her. You know what I'm saying? Because on a couple interviews, she was kind of running off at the mouth before all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to back away. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, KL. Here's the thing. When we reach a position of power, right? When we reach a position of power, everybody got their hand out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their hand out. All of a sudden, people remember you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to tread carefully along the lines of who you can trust, because everybody has a secret agenda. Everybody has a secret agenda, especially when you have that amount of resources and power in order to spread amongst your family and your friends. Now, you can be selfish if you want. You know, you could just say, hey, I'm cool, and you could just disappear. A lot of people don't do that because they have the whole survivor's guilt trip. You know, oh, well, I made it. You know, oh, well, I got to take care of my family. I got to take care of my friends. Because it's so funny, the people that you initially are trying to come up with, and you're either growing a brand, you're growing a business. You know, a lot of people, they look at you weird. You know, oh, why would you do that? You wasting your time. You know, oh, that's that. You know, that's stupid. And then they have other conversations amongst people with that same type of mindset. You know, yeah, I don't know why they doing that. You know, oh, it's just stupid. It don't make no sense. You know, that they you know, he's embarrassing himself.
Right.
But then as you start climbing the ladder, you start climbing the ladder, because it's a slow, hard process. It takes consistency and discipline, but the reward is astronomical. You
Mm-hmm.
become a public figure. You got money. You go into all these exclusive, you know, meet and greets. You know, you
Yeah.
got mansions now, or big ass houses. You got the foreign whips. You know, everything is at your disposal. Then all of a sudden, people start remembering you. Oh, how you been? They start hitting your DMs. They start hitting you on the text message. Your uncle that you haven't talked to in like 10 years, all of a sudden he remember you. Hey, what's going on, nephew?
Right.
See, when it starts getting like that, that's when, no, when you start seeing yourself rise up the ladder, you got to start cutting the crop. You know what I'm saying? You got to start thinning the herd, because those same people that remember, that don't know you allegedly, all of a sudden they remember you.
Right.
And see, that's Diddy's problem. He should have thinned the herd a long time ago. And
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about, as we if you want to be technical, we going back to the whole when he was dating J Lo.
Yeah.
You should have started thinning your herd a long time ago.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, because people are always going to have that sentiment. Well, if you don't help me out, then you ain't shit.
Right.
So therefore, they're gonna start backdooring you. All that information that they know about you, even made up narratives, they're gonna start using against you. You know, they're gonna start putting it out to social media. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? All it takes, and especially if you got a spotted history, that's the problem. If
Yeah.
you got a spotted history, and if you're not mystique and mysterious, and you just out in the open, all it takes is one lie to
That's it.
sink your battleship.
That's it. That is it. It takes one lie to end your career, and it be your own people that help you go down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man. But you know, as a black man and a black woman, especially a black man, it don't matter how much fucking money you got or how many good things you're doing for the community, you can be touched. So
Yes.
don't think for one second that you're untouchable. Don't think for one second that you're bulletproof, invincible, unerasable, none of that, because that don't mean nothing. Get your money and duck off. You feel
And,
me?
and that's the smart thing to do. But we like to help. You know what I'm saying? Again, we like to help because it's like, hey, I have the resources now. I can be able to
Yeah.
help people.
Yeah.
But people get greedy. You
That's a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? Hey, hey, fam, I need a car. I'm down on my luck. Oh, okay, cool. I got you. Don't trip. Let me take care of some business. And then after that, I got something for you. Oh, man, thanks. For sure, man. I appreciate you, man. I love you. Man, I don't know what to say. Start crying, doing the whole nine, right? And then you pull up to his crib with a brand new car. It's a Toyota Corolla. He looking at you sideways. Like, wait, what? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Where my Lambo? Where my Porsche?
Right.
Hey, this is cool, but I kind of expected something better. What you mean
Yeah.
better? You wanted a car, right? It's a 2025. It's brand new, 0 miles. Oh, well, I mean, I thought you was gonna come like with a Porsche or a Lambo or something. Now you ungrateful.
Right. And it's crazy, man, helping somebody come with a price. And that's just like we were talking about last week. Like motherfuckers had a handout, man, like and they feel entitled for stuff that they didn't work one day or put in 1% to help you hustle or get, and they just feel entitled. What, because we know each other, or because, like, so what? You didn't help me do none of this.
Facts.
But helping people comes with a price, and that's sad, man. That's what I'm saying, man. When I get where I need to be, ain't nobody gonna know. There's gonna be signs, but ain't nobody gonna know. You know what I'm saying? You might try
Facts.
to put shit together, but you're not gonna know. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have a problem saying no.
Mhm.
Straight up, I don't have a problem saying no. And I was like, man, I ain't never gonna change my phone number because all these ungrateful people that call me and ask me for shit, I'm gonna answer the phone on my same number and be like, nah. You know what I'm
Simple as
saying?
that.
Like real shit.
And see,
Real-
I notice a lot of people they have that issue. They don't know how powerful no is.
Right.
They do not know how powerful no is. And a
Yeah.
whole lot of people feel like they have to say, oh yeah, yeah, I got you. And you know what's so crazy? Because I used to be that person. I didn't know how to say no. So, I'll be like, oh well, let me see, or oh well, check back with me in a couple days, or I'll see next week. And in all reality, I kind of want to tell you no. No,
Yeah.
don't call me no more. Leave me alone.
Nah,
You know,
not me, man. Shit. Like if somebody text me and ask me for something, man, and you know how you could see like a preview of the message, like when they text you, I read that shit. Oh, you think I can? Nah, I don't even answer that shit. Like I just leave that shit on red. You know what I'm saying? I'll text 3, 4 days later, like, oh man, I'm just seeing this, man. I ain't having no what. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
I don't got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if once you say yeah, people gonna get used to coming to you. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be their safety net.
Mm,
But if you just nip it in the bud, no, I ain't got it, blase, blase, then okay, that'll teach you like I'm not even gonna ask this motherfucker because you know what I mean? So and that's how
facts.
I want you to think of me. I want you to think of KO as your no person. Like just know that I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep that same energy. You know what I mean? Like real shit. And I don't like asking people shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
I'll figure it out on my own. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, crazy work.
Crazy work.